It's Scott Cullen. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Cannata Report, and I'm looking at the time here, and it's time for Fridays with Frank, and here I am once again with our founder, Frank Cannata. Hey, Frank, how you doing?
Other than being slightly confused, I'm doing great.
And we played a video last week featuring some questions that you were fielding from Bill Frazier, and you got a response, some feedback from Sharp about it that you're going to share with us this morning.
Yeah, we got a real nice message from Mike Marusic. He's a gentleman. He didn't want to be critical that we had possibly made some mistakes or things he couldn't quite understand. And he said he thought it was very fair, very fair reporting. And that's typical Mike. He's always a gentleman. He didn't want to say, Frank, you're wrong. And I got it. And I'm very happy to kind of clarify. I think the misunderstanding came when we told Mike that 54.9%, actually, I said 55, were dedicated to Sharp. Now, when we say dedicated, what we refer to is A3 MFP. Whoever was the manufacturer they put in first place, that was their primary. And we refer to that as the primary all through the survey. That does not mean that they take an A4 MFP as well as A3 from the same area. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It doesn't mean that they handle production print where it's available for as the same as the A3 at all. And in Mike's case, he said, we don't make a complete line, so how could we be that dedicated, was his question. Plain English, Mike, they're dedicated to you A3 MFP to the tune of 54.9%, which is a very impressive number. Now, the other question that Mike, or other area that Mike felt I didn't quite get right, is when I talked about Foxconn being the world's, one of the world's great producers of semiconductors. And I want to quote directly from what Mike sent me, because I did ask him, I want to quote you exactly what the interpretation should read. Here's what Mike said. Thank you for the recent piece on Sharp and Foxconn. I did want to take the opportunity to share some details on the Foxconn role as far as semiconductors. While they do make semiconductors and have some recent investments in additional fabrication of semiconductors, their position as the world's largest manufacturer of electronics places them at the front of the line for the wide array of semiconductors that we use. In other words, they're the greatest consumer, is what I'm reading from Mike's quote. So they have greater access, shall we say, greater influence to those people that they buy chips from, and that plus the fact that they make some of their own. So they were able to provide them to Sharp, which meant Sharp was in a better position to finish off product or with the chips and really deliver product. Now, as a result of that, what we saw was a lot of dealers who had somebody else as a primary the prior year switched to Sharp, and saying all of a sudden Sharp is their number one. I think that was pretty simple for dealers to tell us, because they felt they were getting more product from Sharp than they were from the other manufacturer. That said, I hope that explains what we perhaps confused people out or misinterpreted, but that's the story. Thank you.